Welcome to A Chapter a Day. Support our channel and subscribe today. Whispers of the Zen Forest. The parable for today is the empty cup. In a quiet temple on the city's outskirts, a woman named Mai arrived one morning. "Master," she whispered to the old monk sweeping the courtyard, "my husband has died. I beg you, tell me how to end this pain." The monk set down his broom and poured her a cup of tea. "Drink," he said softly. She took a sip and wept. "Even the taste of tea feels bitter." "Then go," he told her, "and bring me a cup of clear water for the tea from a well that has never reflected the face of grief." Mai bowed and walked from the temple. She visited every well in the town, asking the same question: "Have you drawn water here without sorrow ever falling across it?" The old potter shook his head. "I cried into this well when my wife died." The young mother looked away. "I came here when my baby was ill." By sunset, Mai's feet were dusty, and her heart was heavy, but her mind had grown still. When she returned to the temple, the monk asked, "Did you find the water?" "No," she said quietly, "but I found the truth." The monk nodded and poured her another cup of tea. "Drink again," he said. The monk looked into her eyes. "When you let go of believing your pain is yours alone," he said gently, "the bitterness leaves the cup." Mai held the cup close, feeling, for the first time, a small, steady peace rising in her chest. Take a moment to reflect. When grief comes, it feels like no one has ever suffered as you do. The world becomes small, your heart sealed tight around sorrow. But Mai's story reminds us that grief is part of the great river that connects every living being. When you see that your pain is not separate, something softens inside. The tea is the same. Only your heart has changed. Pause today and ask yourself, times where am I clinging to the idea that my suffering is unique? Times what happens if I let my heart open to the truth that everyone carries some form of loss? Times how might my pain feel different if I stopped resisting it? When you let go of isolation, you make space for compassion, for yourself and for all beings. Here's a real-life scenario. Feeling isolated after a major disappointment. Imagine you've poured your heart into a project, a dream, or a relationship, and it falls apart. You wake each morning with a heavy ache, believing no one could possibly understand how much it hurts. One evening, you decide to attend a local support group at the community center, just to sit quietly among others who are also facing life's upheavals. As people begin to share, you hear stories of heartbreak, of losing loved ones, of starting over after everything seemed lost. Little by little, something shifts. You feel your sadness soften. You see it not as a private curse, but as a bond that connects you to every person in the circle. Later that night, you walk home under the quiet sky. You still feel the ache, but it is no longer so sharp. And as you breathe in the cool air, you realize you are not alone, and in that simple truth, something tender and steady begins to grow. Buddha says, "Death comes to all beings. Before their desires are satiated, death takes them away." Let's explore the quote for a moment. This quote describes the simple, unchanging truth of impermanence. It begins with, "Death comes to all beings. No creature, no person, escapes the ending of the body. This is part of the natural order. Before their desires are satiated." Even as people chase pleasures, achievements, and dreams, craving is never truly satisfied. Death takes them away. Life ends often before longing is fulfilled. Nothing can be clung to forever. In simple terms, remembering that death comes while desires remain unfinished invites us to live wisely now, appreciating what is here without grasping. Thank you for listening to A Chapter a Day.